Hi, I am going to go live today in just a few minutes with Raw Chef Yin, which I am so excited about because I have been following Raw Chef Yin for years now. We've connected online through social media, but we've never actually gotten to do a live together, and I'm going to invite her on in just a minute. I wanted to give her, actually I'll do the introduction when she comes on, but I just wanted to let you guys know we have the plant-based bundle, which just went live yesterday, and it goes just until December 2nd, so you only have, I think it's 10 days total to snag your bundle. We'll talk a little bit about that, but I hope you'll join us live today, and you'll stick with us. If you have questions, let us know, and yeah, share it. Share this live too. Might take a minute. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you.
I
Thanks for
know.
inviting me on.
I know. So I'm so happy we were able to make this work. I want to
Yes.
give a little introduction for any of my viewers or anyone that doesn't know you. So I just want to introduce you all here to Raw Chef Yin. And actually, do you prefer I call you Chef Yin or Raw Chef Yin or just Yin?
Chef Yin is fine. I
Chef
think
Yin.
that's the
Okay, great.
easiest. Yeah.
So I'm here with Chef Yin, and you are all the way from Malaysia. Is
Yes,
that where
that's
you are?
right.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
I'm in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Oh, and I know you've traveled a lot, which I have a question about that too.
Oh, sure.
So Raw Chef Yin is a certified raw food teacher, a TEDx speaker, where she spoke on the transformative power of raw vegan food. She's a best-selling author and even has a law degree. So I'm really excited to get to know Raw Chef Yin a little bit more and introduce her to everyone here. So thank you again for coming on. Um, and is it okay before we get into talking about the recipes in the plant-based bundle that I, get a little bit of a backstory from you?
Sure, sure, of course.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you have a law degree. So what made you decide to become a chef and change career paths?
Yeah, so what happened was, as Asians, your parents always want you to study, become a doctor, lawyer, or engineer. So I took law. I actually, interestingly enough, I never really practiced law. I actually ended up in public relations, and I was working in the corporate field for about 15 years, and then I got stressed. I didn't think it was my passion anymore. So I quit my job, and then I was trying to figure out what to do in my life. So I was trying all sorts of things. I was helping my boyfriend with his music business. I was doing PR training. I was writing freelance, and then in 2014, I discovered raw vegan food, and then it totally healed my eczema. And then I went on to do my raw vegan. I went to Matthew Kenny. I did some courses at Matthew Kenny Culinary Academy in 2015 and 2016. And then in 2016, I started doing this as a career. So yeah, that's the
Oh,
short story.
oh wow. Oh, wow. So were you already plant-based before you decided to go raw vegan?
No, I wasn't, but I was kind of like flexitarian. I cut down on meat in the early 90s. And in fact, when I was in law school, I think like maybe like second year law school or something, um, because I had, yeah, I'm kind of, yeah, because when I lived with my parents, I had to just eat whatever they ate, right? And then I think when I was in law school, I decided to like start cutting down on meat because I read about like how meat is not really good for the body. So, but I was still eating fish because I thought I needed my protein, and everybody's like, "Where are you gonna get your protein?"
Right.
and all that. So, yeah. So in 2015, that's when I started transitioning to veganism, and then in 2016, I was fully vegan. Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And so how did you discover like raw vegan
Sorry.
food? And I know that you create these, oh my gosh, anyone who isn't familiar with Raw Chef, she creates these amazingly gorgeous meals and like food, like you don't even want to eat it because it's so pretty, but then you also,
Oh,
your eyes are like, oh my God, I need to try this. But it's gorgeous. I just downloaded your 3 courses that you have in the plant-based bundle, and I didn't get to watch them all, but I just kind of skimmed through some of the videos and some of the information in there, and I'm so excited to try some of the recipes. So how did you find out about raw food, and how did you end up doing like the gourmet raw food?
yeah. So it's quite funny. I accidentally stumbled onto it because I had just bought an ice cream maker at that time. This was in 2014, and I was actually looking online for healthy ice cream recipes. And then I found this blog called This Rawsome Vegan Life is by Emily, and then there was a raw vegan lasagna recipe. And I looked at pictures, I was like, wow, it was my first time actually seeing an actual raw meal. So I thought like, oh, this looks interesting and looks so beautiful. And so I decided to make it. It took me a really long time to make it. I think because I had like this tiny little food processor. So I was like making the cashew cream cheese and all that. And then I had to make the pesto, and then I had to like, slice the zucchini slices. But yeah, it took me like 2.5 hours or something. I don't know. But when I made it, I was like, wow, this tasted so good. And then I think what really blew me away was like the amount of energy I had, because I usually feel very sluggish after eating cooked food and all that. So this was raw. And so I was like, I was just like buzzing with energy and so energized. And I remember going like, oh, 1 hour later, 2 hours later, I still feel this way, 3 hours later. Then I started doing more research, and then I found Matthew Kenny online, and at that time he was, he had a raw vegan, he had like a plant-based, raw and plant-based culinary academy, and he also did online courses as well. So the first course I did was online, and then they opened up in Thailand, which was nearer to me. So I went to Thailand to the Culinary Academy to do my second and third raw vegan courses. And then people were curious about what I was doing. People kept going like, oh, what's this? Oh, can you teach me? Can you do that? And then I started getting invited to do workshops. So I started doing workshops, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then I started going to restaurants and like vegan cafes, and, pitching to people. Some people said no, some people said yes. And then I started getting invited to vegan festivals to present. So I presented at, obviously Malaysia Vegan Festival, but also overseas at the Bali Vegan Festival, at the Vegan Perth Expo in UK, at the Brighton Summer Vegan Festival, at the Singapore Vegan Festival, and then I also collaborated with this raw vegan chef in Hong Kong to do my pop-up dinners. I've done workshops in Macau. I did a tempeh workshop in London. So at one point I was traveling all over the world teaching people how to make beautiful raw vegan food. And then after that, the lockdown happened. So I had to pivot and do everything online. And then I got invited to participate in the bundles. And then here I am today.
And here we are, right? Wow. So it sounds like you decided to go to chef school, and then you started to learn all this stuff and really get into the raw vegan food. And then it kind of like that career just kind of took off, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's funny because when I went to culinary school, it wasn't to become a chef. It was just because I wanted to make better tasting raw food for my boyfriend, because sometimes when I was I was trying out the recipes online, and some recipes are good, but some recipes like really suck, I could see his face. He had so much difficulty eating it. So I was like, okay, I need to learn how to make this properly. So yeah, so now he's very happy. Now he's very happy to be my taste tester. Yeah, and then it kind of took off after that. So
now, does your boyfriend enjoy cooking, or uncooking, should we say?
So he does all the dishes, and he does all the carrying of the groceries, and he does the taste testing. He doesn't make the food. Although I think there was once I was showing him how to make his overnight oats. But I still make it anyway. But he was like, oh, this is pretty simple,
Well, if you have someone like you, why would you make your own food? Right?
Yeah. So he calls me, I'm his private chef.
Yeah.
I'm his personal private chef.
He's got it made. That sounds great. So let's see. We're sticking with the food. So anyone that's just joining us now, I'm here with Raw Chef Yin. I'm Laurie from Laurie Landry Wellness, and we are trying to promote the plant-based bundle because the bundle is absolutely amazing. I don't even know how many bundles I have, like personally, that I've purchased myself, and that I've been in, I don't know, maybe 5 bundles. I've been a participant, maybe 5 bundles, I want to say. Right. And so Raw Chef Yin, you have 3 courses in the bundle, right? And so
yes, that's right.
So one is called Beautiful Vegan Food Course. and then you
Mm-hmm.
have Christmas showstoppers course, and then Korean
Yeah.
barbecue party course.
Yes.
So that's really
Yeah.
cool. So what would you say about cooking or uncooking, however you want, like food prep, that kind of thing? What is your favorite part? Is it, and I'm talking like from start, like do you enjoy like planning it out? Do you enjoy the shopping? Do you enjoy the prep? Do you enjoy like coming up with new things, the taste testing? What's your favorite part?
Yeah, I think when I begin the conception of the idea, like when I did the Korean, oh yeah, it's interesting. So the Korean barbecue party course, that came about because I was no, I wasn't even online on Chef AJ's show. I think um my other friend, Jungsu, she's Korean and she was on Chef AJ's show, and someone asked her whether she could make raw vegan Korean barbecue, and then she said she hasn't, but she said I'm sure raw chef Yin can make it. So Chef AJ messaged me. Oh, Chef AJ is also in the plant-based
Yeah,
bundle, by the way. Yeah,
just a
she has a
few
course,
items.
I think, on like for the love of veggie. She has a course, so it has you get the recipes and you also get her videos on how to make it. And then she's also teamed up with Melissa Maris of Raw Food Romance, and they have a joint ebook on Make It Raw too as well. So yeah, so fans of Chef AJ can check out the bundle as well. So anyway, so Chef AJ messaged me and said, like, I think she messaged me. Yeah, I think she asked me the next time I was on the show. She's like, the next time you come on, can you make Korean barbecue? And I was like, oh, that's like a lot of ingredients and yeah, a lot of components. But I said like, okay, why not? Why do I do that? So I did that, and it was really fun. So I thought I'll turn the whole thing into a course and add in more components as well. So my specialty is actually focusing on raw vegan Asian food because I feel that there's a lack of that, and there's so many of us in Asia, right? And I love the Asian flavors, and I feel like I wanted to showcase my Asian heritage as well. So what I do is like, raw food techniques is basically cutting, food processing, blending, fermentation, spiralizing, dehydration, freezing, sprouting, that kind of thing. So I wanted to take those techniques and apply it to making raw vegan Asian food instead. Because, I mean, if you've been in the raw vegan world for a long time, I mean, everybody will know how to make like a raw vegan lasagna, raw vegan kale chips, raw vegan cookies and brownies. But to make like a raw vegan Korean barbecue thing, I don't think I've actually seen it anywhere. I mean, I know like people make some of the sauces, but not like the entire component of it. So yeah, so I think that I coming up with the ideas is quite fun. Recipe testing, it really depends. I mean, like I think the point where you get the recipe correct, that's where I really enjoy it.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then putting it all together. I know when I traveled to Vegas, we actually went to a Korean barbecue restaurant which had vegan Korean barbecue. They didn't have raw vegan, but they had vegan Korean barbecue. So that was a fun experience as well.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember
So
what that
I'm
was
kind
called?
I think it was Master Kim's. So they're actually a traditional Korean barbecue, but they have a vegan menu, like
Oh,
yeah, all you can eat vegan menu. Yeah,
oh, wow.
yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah.
Next time I go there, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, I think they have three outlets there. It's quite interesting. They have one on the strip
Oh,
and then two others as well. So yeah,
oh,
if you're ever there, that would be
that's really
cool
cool.
to check
That's
out.
really cool.
Yeah.
Um, so do you primarily eat raw or do you kind of mix it up with
Yeah,
cooked and raw?
primarily raw. I've counted actually one time. It's usually like so in a month, let's say if you consider you eat 3 meals a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you would typically eat like 90 meals in a month. So about 80 out of those 90 meals will be raw. So yeah, I would be yeah, it's only when I'm going out to eat, if I meet up with friends and all that, I'm eating out, that's when I eat cooked. And then also when I travel, then I eat like one cooked meal a day, but I try and do breakfast and dinner raw, breakfast and lunch raw, and then I eat cooked. That's when I'm traveling. Yeah, so
I'm
that works
similar.
best for me, I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm similar. I generally, when I sort of, I had found out about raw food, raw vegan food many years ago, um, but it was still very like I didn't know anyone else that ever
Mm.
ate raw vegan food,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, obviously, many of us do. We eat salads and
Yeah.
smoothies and things like that. But like in terms of like the gourmet, or even just primarily like trying to like focus on eating raw.
Yeah.
But when I really got into it more, and I started following you and Melissa Maris, and got into all of it, I started eating more raw, and I also noticed that I had more energy, like you said. My energy I mean, I had a lot of illnesses, chronic illnesses, and autoimmune disorders, and which I've actually reversed almost all of them, which is awesome, just by going whole food plant based. But when I went raw, not completely raw, but when I ate mostly raw, my energy skyrocketed. And I used to have chronic fatigue, where I would be in bed for days sometimes. Um,
Oh.
and it was just hard to do anything. And yeah, eating tons of raw food gives me so much energy. But yeah, I typically eat raw breakfast and lunch, and then I'll usually eat cooked. Or if I'm going out with someone, I'll eat cooked. And I'll go in spurts where I eat, raw for a week or a couple weeks completely raw. But I just think there's something completely magical about eating raw food.
Yeah, I noticed in your new ebook in the bundle, so you have quite a number of raw recipes there as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Nice.
definitely. I mean, I love cooked food, and I know for a lot of people transitioning to plant-based, sometimes just going all in on raw can be a little overwhelming.
Mm.
So I try to do a little bit of mix because I love getting more people into the plant-based foods and whatever helps them do that. Like for me, it was just things that I already typically eat. It was like soups and pasta and stir fries. And so, your general cooked foods, you just kind of remove all the animal products,
Yeah.
add way more vegetables in it and like all the flavors. And so that's why I like to help people transition. But I also really want people to know about the power of raw foods as well, because incredible.
Yes. Yeah, it is.
It really is. So are there any plant foods that you don't like whether it's a specific vegetable or fruit or grain or something like you're just like, no, I'm not going to eat that?
Uh, hmm. It's not like I don't like it, but I think I don't understand what is the fascination with asparagus. Because I think when we go out for like special occasions to eat out, and when we request for a vegan meal in a non-vegan, like in a fancy restaurant, but it's a non-vegan restaurant, they're always serving asparagus. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I eat it. And I'm like, but my boyfriend loves it. So he loves asparagus. So I'm like, yeah, here, you can have it.
You can have it.
I don't like dislike it. I'm just like, there's so many other things, why
All right,
does it
there's so
always
many
have
other
to be?
vegetables you could put on the side. Why this? That is true. I do love asparagus, but I can understand that it has a very specific flavor, so it's like, why not green beans or squash or something
Because
else?
it's because asparagus is really expensive in Malaysia, you see. So yeah, I mean, if it's expensive and then it has this strange taste, I think I don't know. It's kind of like half bitter, and I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It definitely has a very distinct flavor. And if it's not cooked right, or it's not very just a good crop at that point, yeah,
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 but
definitely. It's interesting.
I generally like all vegetables and fruits. I'm trying to think of like something I don't really like. I think sometimes when I don't like to cook something, it's just because it's hard to prepare. Like like I don't like peeling pumpkins and butternut squashes.
Yeah,
Yeah, or like having to peel a jicama as well, or opening a pomelo.
yeah.
So yeah, it's not like I don't like to eat it. I just don't like
You
the
don't want to put
amount
the
of
work in.
energy having to prep it. That's also like yeah. So when I go and buy my pomelo, I try and buy it from this guy, my regular fruit stall guy. It's in like open air fruit stall. I'm like, can you peel this for me so I can?
Oh, that's
He's
nice. Will
like,
he do
yeah,
it?
sure. Yeah, he does it if it's like off peak. Yeah, so if I go to so there's this one particular stall that I go to, and we go on usually Friday mornings. Oh well, because it's next to the park, so we kind of like try and do our things together. So I do my yeah, I buy this my bananas and fruits and some veggies from this guy, and then I buy fruits from this other guy, and then we walk in the park. So if we go like on a Friday morning, there won't be that many people. If it's like a weekend, then he won't be able to do it. But
Right.
yeah, so he'll like, yeah, sure, I'll just like, he'll cut it off and peel it off for me. He does the same with my pineapples as well. So
Oh, that's nice.
I
That's
sound
nice.
like a lazy chef now.
No, no, I mean, no. If you see your cookbooks or you see your recipes or your courses, you're not a lazy. I like everything easy too, because if it's not accessible, if it takes too long, like I'm just not gonna do it. I'll do it once in a while, but it's not gonna do it. It has to be, I mean, we just are adapted to be quick and convenient, right? In some ways. Like every once in a while you want to get creative and take your time, but sometimes you're like, I just want like a good meal that doesn't take too long.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I end up eating at one point I started because I used to make a lot of raw vegan gourmet food. But after a while, I think at one point I started like, oh, I should just really make these big, huge, giant salads that Lisa and Nate make. And yeah, so they have the ebook Tales from the Tailgate in
Yeah.
the plant-based bundle. And I've like been making so many of their recipes because it's like pretty straightforward, you just chop up the veggies and then make the dressing and then your salad is ready. So
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. I know. I tell my clients, so I help women reverse autoimmune disease, and I tell my clients because they're always like, what's a good recipe? Like they think they want recipes or they think they need recipes. I'm like, really? It just
Mm,
needs to be simple. Like, especially like in the beginning when you're just trying to heal some things and just trying to reverse
mm,
and feel better. Like it's just make it super simple. It might not be that interesting at first. Like just find a salad you really like, find a smoothie you really like,
yeah.
like maybe get a little bit more creative at dinner, but just, I mean, I eat it. So I'm like broccoli and guacamole or a salad or like a really simple salad, like three things, So just the simpler, the better sometimes. I'm definitely gonna have to check
Yeah.
out Alyssa and Nate's tailgating books. I haven't read that one yet. To check that out.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it's really cute because it talks about their love story and like how they met and then the first meal that Nate made for Lisa is so sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
Because like these
cute.
little personal stories on every one of the recipes. So it's such a nice personal touch to it. Yeah.
I
And
love.
oh, there is, I don't know whether you saw the ebook, The Art of Raw Food. It's by Paulina. It starts with N. I don't know.
I didn't see
She
that.
goes by Art Raw Paulina. That's a really good
Oh,
ebook because that has 130 plus raw food recipes. I've been following her for a very long time already as well. So she makes beautiful desserts. And I think at one point she was the raw food chef at Bantra in UK in London. So yeah, so I've already tried out like five of her recipes in that book.
oh wow.
I made her raw pizza. That one you need to make the pesto and then you make raw pizza. And then I made her kimchi, her pink kimchi. And then from the pink kimchi, you can make a cheese. I think she has two cheese recipes, and I made two of her cheese recipes there as well. Yeah, and
From the
yeah. Sorry?
did you say you made a cheese from the kimchi?
Yeah, so there was they had two cheese recipes. One, you use the kimchi as the fermentation aid, the kimchi and the kimchi
Oh,
brine. The other one, it was using probiotics. So because there was a potluck here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, a vegan potluck. We do this yearly in conjunction with World Vegan Month in November. So I brought the cheese and I brought the potluck. And then I also made the crackers in Raw Vegan Mama's ebook. She has like a Raw Delicious for Kids, I think Party Delights or something like that, that had like a five-seeded buckwheat cracker. So I made the crackers as well. So the crackers would go with the cheese and also they had the kimchi. So yeah, yeah. So
oh, that
it
sounds
was
so
just
good.
like, yeah, it was good to have the bundle in time to make the food for the potluck. And people
Yeah.
loved it. So
Yeah,
really.
yeah, I know, and that's a lot of with the bundles. Sometimes I'm like, I get overwhelmed because I want to read all the books and I want to try some of the recipes and I want to,
Yeah.
prep some of it for people. But it's just like sometimes it gets so crazy. But you do an amazing job. I feel like you're all. I mean, a couple bundles back, you made my my raw flaxseed crackers.
Yes, I
Flackers.
did.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
I
I was like,
did.
oh yeah, I was so excited. But I'm like, wow, she's making so many recipes from the bundle. Like, I don't know how she finds the time. I know that you have the skills down now, so you kind of know how to do it pretty quickly. But like for me, it takes a long time. I'm by no means a chef.
Well, I spend most of my time in the kitchen, so
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah. You
Yeah,
had
and I guess
mentioned, oh, go
no,
ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
I just wanted to check the time. Okay, we still have a few more minutes. So you had mentioned that, and I saw that you've done a lot of traveling. You traveled here in the States. You've traveled
Hmm.
sort of all over. So how do you go about? Because I can't imagine everywhere you go, it's very accessible to eat vegan food. I mean, I know if you can go to a grocery store, you can just grab fruit and vegetables, right? But is that what you
Yeah,
mainly do, or do you kind of try to scope out some of the vegan restaurants, or do you do
yeah.
more meetups, or like how do you travel and remain? It doesn't necessarily. I'm sure you don't always eat raw, but how do you travel and remain, vegan and healthy? How do you do that?
So I do a lot of research and prep in advance. So make I try and find out where all the vegan restaurants are. I go to Google Map. I go to Happy Cow, and then I
Hmm.
also search on Google Map like vegetarian restaurants or vegan restaurants near my area. And then what I do is usually when I travel, I try and book an Airbnb where I have a kitchen, or at least like a small kitchenette, so that I can make like my breakfast and I can make my dinner. So that always helps. Like when I was in the US, I think there was only like one or two places that did not. Yeah, when we were in New York, because I couldn't, it's so expensive in New York. I
It's
couldn't
so
afford
expensive.
to get a place with a kitchen. So we were just in like the YMCA dorm. But the rest of the places we stayed in places where I actually had like a small kitchenette. And then I actually travel with my knife and my cutting board and my apron. So yeah, I do all my research, so I know where the vegan restaurants are, and I actually like I already plan in advance. This day we're going here, this day we're going here, and then I have a list of plan Bs as well, just in case the place is closed or it's not open for that day, that kind of thing. And then yeah, then I make sure, like I said, I bring all my my knives and my cutting bar, and then I also and then I also plan in advance to find out where's like the nearest grocery store around. So like I mean, like when I was in Japan, there were like four or five within walking distance from my Airbnb, and even in US, I remember we stayed in this in Portland. Trader Joe's was just like 2 minutes walk away.
Oh,
You know, yeah. So yeah, I try and look for the grocery stores nearby so that I can eat raw for my breakfast. And then I know in the US, and I kind of miss that. I was just saying that like, oh, I miss like, because I would go to Whole Foods and buy like the 1 pound of mixed spring mix.
yeah.
So
Like in
yeah,
the
so it's
big
already,
like bins.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the I think it's actually, they have the ones in the bin, but the ones in the bin are not so fresh. So I buy the ones that are packet.
Mm.
So it goes by 1 pound, and it's already all washed. Yeah, 3 times washed already. So I don't have to go through that trouble of washing. And then because I don't have a blender with me, so what I do is I get avocado, and then I get something like, cucumbers and cherry tomatoes and maybe some grapes or some mangoes. So those are very juicy. So my salads don't need to have a dressing. For breakfast, I actually keep it very simple. I most probably just eat fruit and some lettuce. That's it. Like, fruits which you can cut or you can peel. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I stay like high raw when I travel. Yeah.
Oh wow. And are there a lot of vegan restaurants where you live in Malaysia?
Um, Now there are more fully vegan ones. I think when I became vegan in 2016, not so much, but I noticed, I think around 2020, 2021, more and more came up. But we do have a lot of vegetarian restaurants over here because there's a huge Buddhist population, so a lot of them are vegetarian. So it's quite easy. I mean, like we just need to explain to them, no dairy, no eggs, no honey. A lot of, yeah, actually, and because it's a lot of them is like Chinese food. So if it's Chinese food, it's they usually don't use that much dairy, and Yeah, so we take out the eggs, and also there's also the Indian restaurants where
Mm.
a lot of them are pure vegetarian. They call themselves they call it pure vegetarian, so they don't use eggs. They do use a lot of dairy though, so we have to go like,
Yeah.
oh, no ghee, no yogurt, no curd, no cream. Um, yeah, but I
Yeah.
think after a while, I mean, initially took some time to adjust, but after a while, you kind of can navigate through and just get your vegetarian food. Well, your vegan food, which they label as vegetarian, but it's actually vegan friendly. Or I mean, if there's really nothing, then we just kind of ask for fried rice or fried noodles that are yeah vegan, yeah, and usually the places can whip it up for us. So but yeah, I think it's when because we're in the city. I'm in the city, so it's not so difficult. I think when you're kind of like out of the city, then it's slightly harder. But like I said, if you're not too fussy, then they most probably can whip up something for you.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And you said that you, when you went plant-based or when you went raw vegan, it cleared up your eczema. Did you find any other, and you had more energy with the raw? Did you or your boyfriend, did you either of you find any other like health things or, big benefits from switching?
Yeah, I used to, like get the cough and cold like every month,
Hmm.
something like that, like just before my period. I think that's when my immunity was
Yeah.
low. So I
Yeah.
used to, yeah, that used to happen all the time. And yeah, when I switched to, vegan, raw vegan, that's when it kind of stopped. So for, uh, yeah, I was like, oh, this is I was so used to like getting cough and getting a flu and sniffing all the time. I actually thought it was normal. So
Yeah.
and so when I didn't, I was just like, oh wait, that was not normal at all. I was
Isn't that
yeah because
crazy? You just think, oh, okay, this is what everyone else experiences,
yeah
and not at all.
yeah yeah because I mean in the office there will always be somebody having the flu, so you don't like it doesn't occur to you like, oh, I don't need
Like this doesn't have to be like this. Oh,
uh,
okay. I feel better.
yeah. Yeah. That's why I
What
was so
about your
convinced. I was just like, okay, that's it. I'm not going back. Like because I suffered from eczema for like 30 years, and I was trying to like I tried all sorts of things. I mean, like yeah, from I my parents took me to so many specialist doctors and spent loads of money that didn't work. I did like tons of Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. That didn't work either. We did like Ayurvedic treatments. That didn't work either. And then we did like DIY things like, rubbing papaya skin on your feet and all that. And obviously that did not work. It just made your toes smell like papaya and turn it all orange. And then like there was one doctor who made me wear like 3 pairs of gloves. He's like, oh, you're allergic to the laundry detergent or the dish detergent, and you're allergic to rubber gloves, so you need to wear. He actually told me to wear like, what did I have to do? I had to wear like, I think like a pair of cotton gloves, and then on top the cotton gloves, he said like wear the plastic gloves because I'm allergic to the rubber gloves, and then wear your rubber gloves, and then that's what you do when I do the dishes.
oh
So
my
like, yeah, for some time I was wearing 3 pairs of gloves on me, and that didn't help either. And I was just like, and none of them told me it had anything to do with food. Yeah, so I think I was like really upset with all these doctors. Yeah. So now I'm just like, I don't trust these doctors anymore.
I know, similar to me. I also had psoriasis and eczema, and I had it on my scalp, and I had issues like skin issues with my feet. I couldn't wear colored socks, and I was allergic to, like, I couldn't take a bubble bath. I couldn't put certain lotions. Like everything would irritate it, and um, I tried all the topical, creams and the antihistamines and all of that too. And some things would kind of work for a little while, but it would come back and sometimes it
Yeah,
would just get worse. And
exactly. Yeah.
and it wasn't until I changed my diet and like my skin, oh, thank goodness, it's great now.
Yeah, or like because I had it since I was a kid, so the doctors kept saying like, "Oh, you grow up when you become an adult, you grow," and I took it so literally. I was like, "Okay, I'm 21, I'm an adult now. Why is this still happening?"
Yeah, exactly.
It was so,
Exactly.
and it's so bad. I remember it's like because on my fingers it was so bad. Like when I go through airport security, the readers can't read my fingerprint because it's so bad.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
You had it
yeah,
on your fingertips.
yes,
Wow.
I had it on my fingers and my
Oh,
toes. It was really
that's
bad.
gotta
So
be so
yeah,
uncomfortable. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
That's why
Oh,
I think when I switched to raw food, it cleared up like within a few weeks, and I was just like, "Wow, okay. I'm not,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not eat these eggs and milk, and no, not doing this anymore."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
once you hit that relief, you're like, okay, I'm good. Like, I mean, I can't imagine. I know I want to say never, but I can't imagine I would ever go back to eating terribly high processed or animal foods again because I
yeah.
mean, well, ethically too, I don't want to, or morally, but I mean, just with my health, I was so sickly as a kid since birth and so sickly throughout most of my adult life. And then 5 years ago, it was just like, and I had even asked doctors, I said, do you think if I cut out sugar, if I cut out gluten, if I cut out dairy, they're like, no, I haven't seen any evidence of that being the case. And so I would try like one thing and I would only kind of get a difference and then try another thing. So I never really did it all enough for a like long period of
Mm,
time to really notice. And then one time, pandemic hit and we're like, let's just try going fully vegan, try to eat no plant,
mm,
no processed. And it was just like within 2 to 3 weeks, I was feeling amazing. Like my joint pain was gone. Like, I mean, I had energy. It was crazy. Like I just feel amazing. It's the best decision I've ever made. I do wish I made it earlier, but
yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah. That's the thing.
yeah. Well, I want to respect your time. I know you have to go. But I did want to ask, is there any other specific recipe or creator or any other like ebook or content in the plant-based bundle? So anyone joining us now, we're talking about the plant-based bundle that's going on right now only until December 2nd. And every single bundle is different. No
Yeah.
bundle is the same. And so I have a brand new book in the bundle. Raw Chef Yin has 3 courses in the bundle, which are amazing. Is there any other, thing you want to talk about or make mention of for the bundle for our viewers?
Oh yeah, so for those who are who want to start going on a raw vegan journey or incorporate some raw vegan food in their life, I think there are 2 courses there which are very helpful in the bundle. Jillian Berry has her like how to go raw vegan course, and that has like tons of videos to help you, and then she has like checklists, and she also has recipes there to help you. And then I think Nathan Marish, he also has a raw food kitchen's essential course on how to set up your raw food kitchen as well. So I think I went through that course and I thought that was really good because, he talks about what the equipment you need. Yeah, and then I think just the best practices, because when I first started, everything was kind of like, trial and error, so I got, like I say, I got a really small food processor and blender, and then I like burnt all my blender blades and all that. Then I finally got my Vitamix, and I got like a really small dehydrator that couldn't make bread, and then I finally got an Excalibur dehydrator. Yeah, so I mean, instead of like having to go through trial and error and make all the mistakes, I think it's easier to just take the courses and go through that and then understand what is it that is needed if you want to, yeah, start on your raw vegan journey. So yeah, that'd be like really cool stuff to follow. And I
That's
think the plant-based bundles like it caters for not just raw vegans. There's also like loads of cooked vegan stuff as well. That's why I've been making some of the cooked vegan recipes for my boyfriend, because he likes cooked food. He'll eat some raw, if it's like burgers and pizzas and all that. But then he still likes his rice. He still likes his like, soups and stews and curries that are cooked. So yeah, so if anybody wants to check it out, yeah, go check out the bundle because it's only going to be around for until 2nd of December. It's only around for like a week plus, and then that's it. It will be gone.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think, I think there's some really great things in there, content and courses and ebooks and guides for beginners as and like also people who are seasoned, like just need like a refresh. And then also, people who have been in this world, eating this way, cooking this way, just to get just some like fresh ideas, some
Mm,
fresh recipes, some new people to follow. I mean, there really is something for everyone, even if you don't even plan on being vegan or plant-based or raw or any of that. Like just to have, I mean, there's like so many, there's sauces and there's ice creams and there's dessert, like
yeah.
things that you don't have to eat any specific way to enjoy these amazing recipes. So yeah, there's definitely something for everyone. All right, so let's wrap up. Thank you so much. I want to respect your time. I know you can only be on for a little while. Hopefully, we can chat again another time in the future, maybe another bundle that comes around because I have so many more
Yeah.
questions for you.
Sure.
But thank you for joining me. And anyone who is not already, please follow Raw Chef Yin.
Thank you.
Both of us have the links to the plant-based bundle in our bio, so you can go to either one of our bios and click on the link and you can buy it from there. You can also just scroll and just check it out. You don't have to buy it right away. But I would say don't wait because I did that once and I wasn't able to get it because I waited till the last minute. So definitely check it out. Click the link in the bio, check it out, scroll through, see all the things you're going to get. And if you have any questions about it, you can message either one of us and we can get back to you.
Yeah, they can just leave it in the comments below if they're watching the replay, and then we can answer them as well.
Yes, exactly. All right. Well, thank you so
All right.
much and have a great night. Look forward to seeing all the recipes that you're going to make for the bundle and hopefully I'll have some time to make a couple too.
Thanks, Laurie.
All right.
I'll see you another time.
Bye.
Bye.